Hello, this series of videos is going to show you some of the new features and how to use the new version 2.0 of the Equalizer Thoroughbred handicapping software. When you receive your disc in the mail, it'll be on a folder just kind of like this, and you'll be able to click it and then you'll see this. To run the program, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to click on the file that says the equalizer.exe. Okay, now depending on your security, you may get a pop-up like this. You can just ignore that and run anyway, and then the program will open. When the program opens up on your computer, there'll be a product serial that is going to be unique to you. Okay. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to email me this product serial number, and at that point I can generate for you a license key that will allow you to get into the program. So after I email you the license key, you're going to go into the app folder here, download the email file I send you for the license key, copy that and paste into the folder here, and then you're going to go and open up the program. Okay. Before we can begin to use the program, if you are using any type of data file from either BrisNet, either the comma delimited DRF, single data DRF files, multicaps, or as I am an HDW subscriber for JCapper, the program will work with either one of those data files, any comma delimited single data file. The folder you're going to place your past performance file in is going to be here, data, and under JCP. And you'll paste it there. And now if we go back in and run the program, we'll see our data file listed here. And then once we click on the data file, we'll see the race numbers for all the races on the program. So let's work with race number 1. Okay. First display you're going to have here is going to show you race date, track, race number, distance, surface, conditions, and any age and gender restrictions here. This screen is going to show you a few different factors here. You have the post number, horse name, weight, jockey, trainer. Now each of these columns is going to be our unique class rating. PV stands for purse value, and this is a ratio derived from today's purse divided by earnings earned in the calendar year that you're currently in, or up to a minimum of 6 starts between this year and last calendar year. Higher the number, the higher the purse value of the horses, and they're ranked here. EPS stands for earnings per start, which is a ratio that takes into account the horse's earnings, again with a 6 start minimum and a ranking. And in the money is simply a percentage of the amount of times that the horse is run first, second, or third. CR is our class rating, which is determined by adding up the purse value ranking, the earnings per start, and in the money percentage here. The TAR is going to be another factor for contender selection over here. We'll go into this a little bit more detail when we look at some of the race reports. This race is scheduled for the turf, so when you have a turf race here, okay, you'll also have a purse value, which is going to be just strictly for the horse's turf starts, earnings per start for the turf, in the money percentage for the turf, and class rating for the turf. To begin selection of pace lines, you have 2 options here. If you would prefer the computer to do the work for you, we have this little button down here called automatic calculation. Or if you click load, you'll be able to manually select the pace lines that you would like to use to rate each individual horse. Coming back to the contender selection screen for a minute. Now, if you have scratches you'd like to process, simply just click on the horse and scratch. If there's multiple horses that would like to be scratched, hold down the control key and click, and you'll be able to select multiple scratches. The class rating figures for contender selections will be automatically adjusted based on any scratches that you have. I'm not handicapped this race. I'm just showing you here how we would go about working a race for actual handicapping purposes. So if you're going to use the automatic calculation here, I would suggest scratching any horse, or you can even hide what you feel would be non-contenders. So just for hypothetical purposes here, this was a 7-horse field, and I'll scratch the 6th and 7th ranked class horses and get them out. Okay, automatic calculation is going to find a pace line within the last 3 races of the horse that you have here, based on the same distance and surface, using the highest speed rating of whatever data file you're using. A simple one click will calculate the race, and you'll get this pop-up. The message says that pace lines were selected successfully and added for modeling. If we close out and we go back, now we go to actions and retrieve, we'll see the race that we just did automatic processing with. Your data can be retrieved in one of 2 ways. Number 1 here, the retrieve function. Okay, this will bring up the velocity rankings for the incremental splits of the race, first fraction, second fraction, third fraction, as well as give you velocity rankings and stats. I'll go over these in just a little while. These columns are sortable. So with a click over here, you can sort your contenders based on these criteria over here. If you prefer not to look at velocity rankings but would prefer to look at fractional times, this section does that here. And this is like our contender matrix here. And I'll go over this in a little bit more detail. If you wanted to print a race and take it with you, if you were going to the track or to your local OTB, you can hit the print button. Conversely, you can also get the same screen by going here on the retrieval section. And we can see this a little bit bigger. Now, if you were going to do a manual selection of pace lines, so I'll just use race 2 here for example. Okay, hit load, and now you'll be able to manually select the pace lines you would like to use. Now, this screen has been updated from version 1. Now the conditions will appear here. The post numbers also now appear in the horse tab. Okay, essentially what you would want to do is you would look at the horse that you were looking to rate, and the pace line that you wish to select, you would highlight and select pace line. The black dot next to the horse indicates that you have selected a running line here, and when the race is calculated, this is the line that's going to be used. You can also, by hitting control, select, you can select 2 pace lines per horse, but it's not going to, multiple pace lines per horse, but it's not going to give you an average. It will rate each individual pace line. We're going to go over this screen a little bit more detail in video number 2.